Hey guys, movies and TVs on the ball here. Just to ask you a real quick question. Hey guys, if you guys are 90s kids like I was, I've got some good slash bad news to tell you. The Mask and Dumb and Dumber just turned 30 years old this year. It's 2024 and both Jim Carrey's classic films just turned 30 this year, and I just was going to take a moment just to ask you guys what are your thoughts on both Dumb and Dumber and The Mask. I mean, I know they're both sort of, The Mask is they're totally opposites the in the both kind of opposites in their humor. The Mask is a little bit more dark. It's got a little bit more it's got a little bit more fear, it's more dark, it's more comical, it's more lively. Dumb and Dumber is a film that probably teens and kids my age, kids, elementary school kids would love. It's stupid is, but how great. But what made Dumb and Dumber work so great was that Jim Carrey's and Jeff Daniels just went for it. It was hilarious how they went for it. Um, and The Mask, it's always it's a classic to me just because I think that was one of the first films that introduced me to Jim Carrey and the smoking. And alrighty then, I know that I think Ace Ventura is another film that came out and as well, but I just kind of was looking at both The Mask and Dumb and Dumber as well, just because I like Dumb and Dumber, where he's like, especially the scene where he gets his tongue stuck to the pole, which kind of reminded me a little bit of A Christmas Story. But Dumb and Dumber was one of the funniest films. I think one of the best films from the Farley brothers that they did, and The Mask is one of the films that I always have fondness for. I think when I was a kid, I used to know all the lines from the trailers, and since I saw the trailers, I would know that the mask was the I saw Mask. I basically, since I've seen all the trailers, I would have seen the whole movie, kind of thing. At that time, I was like, oh, that's oh yeah, I've seen that movie. I've seen the trailer so many times. I've basically seen the movie, but that kind of was my luck. But The Mask, it gave Cameron Diaz her first breakout role, and I think it gave Jim Carrey his, well, I think with all three films, gave his breakout role. But between the two, what did you enjoy? And I felt like Dumb and Dumber had more of a kind of a didn't really have that big of a villain, because if you remember in Dumb and Dumber, there's a scene where the guy's car breaks down, the villain's car breaks down, and so they go, "You need a lift," and so they're in the car together, and as they're in the car together, he says, "Hey, Harry, hey, do you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world is ah," or something like that. I can't remember, but Dumb and Dumber, and especially them on the moped. I remember that. I mean, Dumb and Dumber is one of the great classics, and even the sequel I heard was you know pretty decent. I know they had a prequel as well called Dumb and Dumber When Harry Met Lloyd, and I'll tell you, Eric, I can't remember his last name, but the guy who played Jim Carrey's or Lloyd in the Dumb and Dumber prequel did a really good spot on impression of impression of Jim Carrey. I thought he did a really good job. But what are your thoughts on the Mask and Dumb and Dumber as they celebrate their 30th anniversary? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, like and subscribe. Peace.